Hello, Blackhawks Nation. Welcome to the Blackhawks Daily, your favorite recap of the daily buzz around your Chicago Blackhawks. I'm your host, PJ Benoit. Thank you for taking time and tuning in as we uplift, support, celebrate our beloved Blackhawks as they're jumping into their very interesting centennial season. So, if you're new here, welcome. And if you haven't already, please take a moment, hit that subscribe button. Would love to have you along as we freaking jump into this awesome journey and also this wonderful growing community that you guys have built. We've got our top 4 topics of the day, so let's dive in, shall we? So, as many of you know, I record these particular ones I'm going to record the night before, so tonight is Tuesday night. So tomorrow night, Wednesday night, we have a big game, right? Blackhawks are going to Rogers Arena in Vancouver. Personally, I hate the Canucks. I always have. So, not a big fan. But anyway, let's see what the storylines are and what do we got to watch out for. So, we're coming in, game 4 on a 6-game road trip. We got to look for momentum, and road fatigue is something we got to watch out for. The Hawks just wrapped up a tough road swing, and now, of course, we land in Canada. They'll need to shake off any fatigue and bring the same jump that they showed late in recent losses. If they can carry that energy, this becomes a winnable game. Pace and transition game. Vancouver at home tends to push hard, and the Hawks will want to turn defense into offense quickly. Speed matters, and if Chicago can get out of their zone clean and hit Vancouver before they're organized, well, it could tilt the game towards them. Special teams edge. The Canucks are favored at home. Money line around minus 181 for Vancouver, plus 150 for Chicago per recent odds. So the Hawks will need to make the most. They're going to need to make the most of their power plays and kill off Vancouver chances. Good special teams work could flip this. And also, as usual, the whole theme over this past rebuild, the young core stepping up. The Hawks' young guns are expected to contribute in key moments. So if guys like Bedard and Nazar and our defensemen control the minutes and limit mistakes, obviously, that could be a difference maker. The Blackhawks haven't had smooth sailing against the Canucks. According to predictions, Vancouver is expected to win by many. Some models put the probability up to around 64% of a win ratio for Vancouver. They've been favorites at home. Chicago will need to flip the script. I think Vancouver's 7-7 right now. We're 5-3. That said, recent projections like the one from iHeartRadio suggests that a close game and even giving Chicago a chance at a 4-3 win. So this tells us that there might be one of those games where the underdog Hawks have a real chance if they execute well, they stay on top of their skates, keep their focus, right? As usual, I'm a Chicago fan, so I'm going to say we're going to win, right? I like Chicago's chances if they nail their breaks. I like the 4-3. I'll go with that. And over 5.5 goals is predicted by several reviews. So key factors here. If Chicago wins the pace battle and flips the transition, we're going to create a lot more high danger chances. If Vancouver gets jumpy and the Hawks capitalize, we certainly can see an upset at home, which I would love to do. But if Chicago's defense or goaltending slips, which has been rock solid this year, the Canucks' home advantage could bite them. So this is a statement game. It's not just about winning. It's about proving that we can win away from home in a tough venue, right? We faced that in Seattle, going right up the road, up to Vancouver. If the Hawks can bring their speed, thank God for Oliver Moore coming on board, minimize our giveaways, make special teams count, and let our young roster shine, well, we've got a real shot. So get ready. Let me know what your predictions are in the comments. If you want, hit the like button. Always love that. And let's ride with the Hawks. This one's going to be a lot of fun. So go Hawks. I hope you guys are able to watch the game tomorrow night. It's going to be a lot of fun. Or as you're watching this tonight, it's going to be a lot of fun. Moving on from there, we all know that I really like Nick Lardis, and he's actually making a name for himself. So let's talk about a standout moment for in the Kids Are Coming movement for the Chicago Blackhawks. Lardis has been named AHL Rookie of the Month. And it's not just a feel-good headline. It's a very real signal of his potential and the direction that the organization is headed. So Lardis, taken in the third round of the 2023 NHL draft by the wonderful Blackhawks, hit the ice in the AHL and did not hesitate at all this year. In 8 games this October with the Rockford IceHogs, he's posted 12 points, right? 4 goals, 8 assists, and has a plus 11 rating. By his 10th game, he already had 13 points, 5 goals, and 8 assists. General manager Kyle Davidson weighed in after the award. He said Lardis has carried through some of that production that he had in junior into pro, right? Now, remember, last year in OHL, he had, 71 goals, like just amazing year. He's in a good spot right now, just playing a ton of minutes and getting a ton of opportunity. You can't really say there's too much he needs to fix right now. He just needs to keep playing. Bottom line, the kid ranked among the top rookies in the league, not just in his team, and the Hawks are starting to reward it. And why this matters, when you're rebuilding, you hope your draft picks become impact players. Lardis, dominating early in the AHL, tells us that he might not just make the NHL, he might just stick, right? His transition from junior to pro has been smoother than many expected, especially given how the Hawks often prefer to let prospects simmer a while before graduating them. But Lardis is saying, yo, I'm ready now, right? The pace, the confidence, and the consistency, these are the elements that you want to see when you're looking for your next wave of contributors. So what do we keep an eye on? Can he sustain this, right? A hot start is one thing, but doing it for a full season is another. Week in and week out, the Hawks will want to see consistency, and then they'll decide when he's ready for the NHL. Does his style translate in tougher situations? The AHL by no means is easy, right? It's a grind, but the NHL is entirely different speed and physicality. The next test is fewer soft minutes and more high leverage shifts. How soon does he get the call? With this kind of production, the question becomes when and not if he earns a look in Chicago. And that leads to who makes the way and how the roster adjusts. So, Nick Lardis being named AHL Rookie of the Month isn't just another prospect headline. It's a piece of evidence that the Blackhawks rebuild via the draft is starting to show real return. The young core has been building, and now some of them are playing. So if you're a Hawks fan, this type of development you got to lean into, right? Let's watch his ice time, watch his situations, watch how the organization routes him. Because when the call comes, you'll want to say, told you so. So stay locked in. The future's looking bright. Let's go, right? Oh, so much fun. Let me know in the comments if you think. I think, Oliver Moore came up, I think, quicker than most of us thought. Unfortunately, with Dickinson going on the IR, I hope that he recovers quickly. Plus, the Hawks running, instead of 12-6, we're running 11-7 with an extra D-man and one less forward. So not a lot of space on the bench. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out. Hopefully Lardis can get in and find himself a spot. And moving on from there, let's chat about actually that whole draft, 2023, right? The year we got Lardis and everything. Let's see how they're doing, because it's starting to look like a really landmark kind of draft. Let's dive into the feel-good story, right? Because the Blackhawks 2023 draft is starting to flesh out some real potential. And yeah, this is the kind of progress we've been waiting for in this rebuild. When the Hawks committed to rebuilding through the draft, the hope was clear, right? Land impact players, develop them right, watch them grow into NHL regulars. But we all know development takes time. It's not overnight. It's not linear. You don't press fast forward and skip the seasons. However, once a player hits that 20 to 22 age range, you start looking for signs, little green lights that say, hey, this guy is more prospect than question mark. So let's take a look at the overall consensus of the 23 draft back when it happened, right? Kyle Davidson in there. He was obviously the general manager during the 2023 draft. He took over the permanent GM role back in later October of 2021. The 2023 draft class is viewed as a very strong foundational haul for Chicago's rebuild. Early commentary suggested that pick makers hit more than they missed. So the positives, right? With the number 1 pick, the Hawks selected, of course, Connor Bedard, a generational offensive talent. Later in the first round, they picked speed and skill in Oliver Moore at number 19. And we've been obviously talking about him this week, right? Second round and beyond added interesting pieces such as forwards and a goalie with upside, right? So some caveats. The depth beyond the top picks drew some uncertainty. Some analysis believed that the class was top heavy, strong at the top, fewer sure bets later. And as always, the transition from prospect to NHL contributor isn't guaranteed. Development needs time. Why it's encouraging? Under Davidson's regime, this class reinforces the rebuild strategy. Build through the draft, identify high-end talent, and get younger. The early returns, Bedard and Moore, are already showing signs of impact, which is meaningful for a franchise that has been in a reset mode. So in short, the 2023 draft class gets high marks for potential and vision. With Kyle Davidson at the helm, the Blackhawks executed a plan to secure elite talent, and now it's about seeing how many of these picks turn into NHL mainstays. So look at this roster of picks and what they've been doing early this season. Connor Bedard, right, first overall, already making waves, clearly, right? No surprise here, but still a cornerstone, and arguably his best season ever, right? His effort is there. He's crazy focused, laser focused on doing well this year. He's all over the ice. His compete is very high, so he's doing a great job. Oliver Moore, 19th overall, AHL rookie goals leader before getting recalled up to the NHL. Big step, right? He played his first game in Seattle, made some really good impact. It didn't hit the score sheet, but impressed Blashill. His energy clearly was there. Adam Gahan, 35th overall, goaltender in the NCAA, leading with wins so far. That's a future between the pipes, right, for us. So he's doing really well. Roman Kanserov, we've talked about him in depth, right? 44th overall. Russian forward racking up numbers in the KHL, 14 goals and 22 points in 22 games. That's not just a good sign, that's a wake up and notice sign, right? He's pushing up to the table. Martin Misiak, 55th overall in Rockford, working his path. Still early, but he's part of the mix. And then Nick Lardis, 67th overall. Let's keep our eyes on him, as I keep saying. AHL Rookie of the Month in October and building momentum. So why is this exciting? Getting 2 to 3 NHL contributors out of a single draft class is solid. But if you're seeing 4 to 5 impact players, that can absolutely shift a franchise. With this 2023 class, you're seeing multiple tracks. A star, Bedard, high-end forward potential, Moore, Kanserov, and Lardis, a future starter and goal, Gahan, and some depth pieces, Misiak. Each is on their own path, and that diversification matters. So some context and some caveats, right? Just because you drafted early doesn't guarantee first arrival. Moore still needs to translate from the AHL to the NHL. Kanserov, playing in Russia, still has a transitional hurdle entering the North American game. Misiak and Lardis still developing, still have to prove consistency at higher levels, but they are. But here's the point. The signs are there, right? And they're positive. Rather than scratching our heads and asking, where's the impact? We're now asking, well, when can he get here, right? How soon will they arrive? The Hawks have put their chips into that draft. The 2023 class is beginning to validate that decision. The foundation is being laid. Now it's about patience, continued development, and smart integration into the NHL lineup. For fans, this is the kind of future coming now feeling that matters and that we've been talking about, right? So keep your eyes on those names. Bedard, clearly, right? We always talk about him. But Moore, Kanserov, Gahan, Lardis, and Misiak, they're not just prospects anymore. They're players we watch with expectation. That's a lot of fun. So, it's exciting times, folks. It's exciting times. I love it. And let's get to some hot takes from you guys. Now, because I grabbed this, I grabbed your comments Tuesday night. We don't have a lot of comments, but of course we have very important comments from people who care. So let's get into them. Beans, 7014, repeat offender. 100 years for our Blackhawks. Can't wait for the young guns to develop. I feel like Davidson's rebuild is on the right track. Your words to the universe's ears, my friend. I think you're absolutely correct. I think Davidson, people kind of poo-pooed him early on, but he's sticking to his guns, and I think it's working, right? 2023 draft, 24 draft. This year's draft, also pretty solid, I thought. And next year we got a lot of picks too. So it's going to be fun to watch. I think we're really building a very, very good foundation for us moving forward. So thank you for your contribution there, Mr. Beans. And Joshua Bauman, 3209, definitely repeat offender as well. They'd be a scary team if they can play a complete game. Bedard is consistently the best player on the team, and it's not very close. Well, Nazar has flashes, right? But yes, consistently, Bedard obviously is the best player. But hey, Donato's been kicking in. Burakovsky's been kicking in. Unsung hero Teravainen's been doing really well. We also talked about Mikheyev and what he does for us. So Bedard's got some players around him that are also contributing. But yes, of course, talent-wise, Bedard is above all those guys. But he says, fingers crossed that he can make the Olympics. Yes, he still can. It's an outside shot. Nazar's got a little bit more of an inside track on that, but we're going to keep our eyes on that. Thanks, PJ, and go Hawks. Absolutely, Joshua. Thank you so much for your contributions, as always. And that is a wrap for today, Blackhawks Nation. If you're new here, welcome to the channel. Please like and subscribe. If you are subscribed, thank you so much for your support and for sharing the channel to all your friends and family and neighbors. Get them all in here. The more the merrier. If you made a comment, thank you for sharing your thoughts, your expertise, passion, and all of that love about the Hawks with all of us. And if you're a repeat offender in the comment section, thank you so much for your contributions. It truly is an honor and a freaking blast building this community with you guys. So I love it. Thank you very much. It's so much fun. And thank you to all of you for actually tuning into the Hawks, being focused on them, being excited about them, and coming along with us as we celebrate the best team in hockey, because they are. There's so much fun. There's so much fun to support right now. With the very best fans in all of sports, because there are no better fans than Chi-Town fans. In the absolute best city in the universe, I'm going to say that. I don't know all the cities in the universe, but I'm going to say that Chicago is the best city that this universe has to offer. So thank you for supporting Chi-Town. Thank you for supporting the Hawks. That does it for today. I'm PJ, and we'll see you next time on the Blackhawks Daily.